So this is my 2003 Porsche Boxster. This has the 2.7 in it. And so when I purchased this, I actually drove to Massachusetts to pick it up. I like the pearl white with the red interior and the red top. It was just a very attractive vehicle to me. And, you know, I kind of called the dealership, got the check, told them I'd be there to pick it up. And I think, I want to say this was sort of an impulse buy. I've always wanted a Porsche Boxster, but this one was so put together, and it only had like 78,000 miles, which I know you're saying is a lot, but when you take care of your vehicle, I got a Porsche Cayenne with 231,000. So the mileage was good, and it was just, it caught my eye because it was somewhat put together the way that I would like it to be put together, if that makes sense. So obviously there were a few things about it that I didn't like, but the majority of the vehicle, you know, these cars are very expensive to modify. So when I purchased it, it already had the 911 front bumper, which is something that I thought was very attractive. And so you know, if you look online, I mean, those can cost you $1,100-1,200. I added the 911 wheels. I actually purchased those on Facebook. I was able to get them with tires for like $500, and these are Continental run flats, so pretty good tires. The side skirt, you know, costs you anywhere from $700 to $1,000. But then you also have to factor in that they got the vehicle painted. The original color was the silver, and you can see where the paint job wasn't great. I'm gonna do some touch-ups, but even though they still had to paint it, so I mean, I call that a win. So right now you're looking at, you know, at least $2,500 of fabrication that came with the car. The wing, I thought was nice but subtle. I started looking at like the GT3 wings, but I thought those are too large. So this one was nice and subtle, came with the vehicle, needed some work, still needs a little work, but it's functional. So I actually had to take this apart and wire in the brake light, so everything is fully functional. I actually added a stainless steel exhaust. Do yourself a favor, because again, I realize with Porsche enthusiasts is very different than, you know, driving Corvettes and driving Firebirds. You know, Porsche people can be very finicky, but I operate under the premises it's my vehicle, and I'm going to operate it, and I'm going to modify it the way that I see fit. So I actually had to replace the rear deck. The original deck just had a lot of graphics and things on it, which I thought was too busy, and I was going to send it in repair, but when they tried to install this wing, you could tell that they didn't do a good job measuring, right? So, you know, I wanted it done right, so I actually purchased the deck from R&D Exotics in Mertztown, and installed the wing myself, made sure it was measured correctly, made sure the brake light was working. I did have to replace the brake switch. It was not working, but that was very simple and very inexpensive. But back to the exhaust. Do yourself a favor and replace the exhaust. The pancake exhaust that came with this car was rusted out. So when I went to R&D, they actually had a stainless exhaust. I paid $100 for it. And so when I went to install it, I had no idea, and I can lift pretty good. I'm carrying this exhaust, and I'm like, it was heavy. And so I looked it up online, and the Porsche exhaust can be anywhere from 47 to 49 pounds. So do yourself a favor and replace it. It's just too heavy for this vehicle. So I did replace the exhaust. I also added a short shifter. Again, I did a video on this before. The short shifter is actually from R&D Exotics. Now, I could have purchased the short shifter online and put it together. R&D Exotics already has it together. So basically all I had to do was connect the cables, disassemble the center console and connect the cables. So it was a piece of cake. I'm not saying it's hard to put together the short shifter, but it was very simple for me just to connect the two cables. So I did add a head unit. Now listen, these aren't the best. These are Exovisions. I actually use these in all my cars. What I realized is as long as you have a good amp and as long as you are wiring things right, doesn't matter what the head unit is. That's my personal opinion. I'm not doing this for competition, but I'm more or less doing this. I want it to look seamless. And so this Exovision VT, it just looks seamless. I have it in my GMC Sierra. I have it in my Firebird. It's just a very seamless unit, and it almost looks factory. So that's why I like it. So I upgraded the brake handle on this, not because I wanted to. When I purchased it, it was broke, so I had to upgrade it. This car does not get enough bass, so I added this Rockville under the seat amplifier. Again, you know, it's not gonna knock, but at least it'll give me something. This actually works pretty good, and it fits like this behind the seat enough where if you have a passenger, which I don't plan on it, my wife maybe, but they can fit seamlessly. So I did that. I actually have carbon fiber vents, but when I went to R&D, I thought the black would complement the wheels, so I decided to go with the black instead. I may put the carbon fibers on, but I actually like the black with the wheels. What I will do maybe is add carbon fiber to my mirrors. I don't want to go crazy with the carbon fiber. I like carbon fiber. You want it to be subtle and tasteful, so I may add it there. I like the Euro plates. You know, a lot of people will say if you don't have a front license plate, it's ugly, it's unattractive, it's not nice. Listen, again, it's my car. You don't have to like it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I liked it. And so, you know, these cars are called roadsters, so I just got something basically very simple. I like bras too. Call me old-fashioned. I'm an 80s baby, but I always like how bras look on certain vehicles. So I do have a bra on this, as well as a bra on my Cayenne, and then I do plan on putting a bra on my Mercedes. I just feel like it looks nice on certain vehicles. I also added, so all my vehicles, I add this raising stabilizer unit. I really like the raising stabilizer unit. It could just be in my head, but this helps with electrical issues because it has like 5 grounding points. And so any vehicle that I know has historical electrical issues, Porsches are one of them, I always install a raising unit. Or anytime I'm modifying a vehicle and adding, you know, putting some strain on the electrical system, I add a raising unit. These can be purchased online anywhere from $16.99 to $23. But I always add these, and when they're on sale, I always buy one and keep one as a spare. If you can see here, that's a strut brace. So I like the strut brace because it fits underneath, right? Some things aren't for show. I know the vehicle has some strut support, but this came with coilovers. And so anytime you do aftermarket suspension, me personally, and again, this is my personal opinion, I always add strut braces. Anytime you do any lowering of a vehicle or anytime you add any aftermarket suspension components, I go with a strut brace. I actually purchased this on Facebook Marketplace. It came from New York, and when I looked online, they don't sell a lot of these, but most of them were between $330 and maybe $400. This was $120 shipped. So really good deal on a strut brace. So when I got the vehicle, I kind of had to clean up wires. I'm someone who likes things to be wired properly, and a lot of the rubber grommets, anybody who owns one of these knows that they leak water. And so the individual that had this before me, you know, he pulled out a lot of those rubber wire grommets, and they were just hanging loose so he could run loose wires. So I actually tapped and drilled new holes and added new rubber bushings or rubber washers, and then so I could reinstall the original factory. Again, these things do leak. So, you know, you don't want to cause any electrical issues by allowing those type of things to be done. So I got a couple things that I'm actually getting ready to do to it. I'm adding rear carbon fiber diffuser to it. And I think the rear diffuser with the carbon fiber on the mirror is carbon enough. I'm actually thinking about removing this Porsche crest here, this graphic, and going with a full graphic from the bumper to the back. Thinking about it, not sure if I'm going to do it yet. But not too much more that I plan on doing with this. It's just it's a fun little car. It's a quick little car. I went to R&D Exotics in Mertztown. You definitely gotta look them up. They're actually putting Audi the A8 4.2s in these, and I'm actually very fascinated by that. And so that may be something that I think about doing down the line. But right now, like I said, the 2.7 has a lot of prep, you know, to believe it or not. As long as you get the weight distribution down and take care of the vehicle, I think you'll enjoy it. And that's what this is for. I'm not going to the track. You know, it's been a long time since I had a manual. My last manual was a TT. Kind of got rid of it because I drive an hour and a half to work. But that itch for a manual vehicle still exists. So tell me in the comments what you think. Anything that you suggest that I can do to the vehicle, anything that you like that I've done to the vehicle, any questions that you have about what I've done to the vehicle. Just leave a comment, and thank you for watching the video.